crafty friends, Laura Rumble here with a DT layout for Stick It Down. I'm following their August sketch for single pages, and I start off with something that I don't use. I'm using the joint collection between Alter New and Pink Fresh Studio. It's got parts of the collection designed by Alter New and parts designed by Pink Fresh, and here I'm trying to combine the two. I think this frame is Alter New and I think the rest of the stuff is Pink Fresh, and I really struggle to get the two to work together in my eyes. It's a personal opinion. I love the collection and I can't wait to use more, make more, but I think I'll be using the two companies' bits separately rather than together. So I discard that photo with the frame and bring in another photo. The background cut file is one that I've designed, and I've cut it on white card and I'm backing it with one of the colourful papers. You've got different sections of different colours. You can't tell what the design is, but you've got some white lines on there, and I really love how that looks. Here's my photo that I'm going to use instead. I'm going to trim it down slightly so that it looks a bit neater. I'm just trimming off a bit of the background. And I'm going to flip the sketch and have my photo on the other side, because that's the way the subject of the photo is looking. I absolutely adore these two black and white leaf sprigs from the ephemera, but I need more. I need an entire pack of them. I absolutely love them. I decide that I quite fancy some smaller florals, so I pull out this wreath, but I don't use it as a wreath. I'm going to chop it up, and I like the smaller scale of the flowers. They're pretty much the same flowers as I've got in bigger ephemera pieces, but I prefer the smaller size. So there, that's chopped up, and that gives me 5 or 6 different pieces. I'm going to have my title, Hello, on the left of the page, and tucking in a few leaves and a border piece and a flower. I decide it needs some contrast, so I add some black splatters. Now, it was a fingers crossed moment because I've got the unevenness of the cut file. Where the dots landed on a bit of the cut file and a bit of the pattern paper, they kind of spread and make slightly odd shapes. So I've touched them up with the paintbrush just to kind of round the dots. There are a few spots that I didn't like the way it turned out, but as there's no mistakes in scrapbooking, there's just extra opportunities to embellish, and I did. This little tiny border strip, I'm just snipping and stretching so that it runs off either side of the hello. The scallops now don't match up because I've obviously chopped and spread it, but I don't think it shows. And just having that little bit at either side of the H and the O, I feel looked better. I'm going to pop that up on some foam. This is foam tape that I've trimmed into thin strips to back a cut file with, and these were leftover bits. I keep my leftover foam tape on my tripod. So if I've been particularly busy with the foam tape, I'll have like 4 or 5 different bits, little tiny offcuts of foam tape stuck on my tripod. And I then think, well, maybe I should use them. I need to use some foam tape. I'm trying to move away from using foam tape because I don't think it's particularly eco-friendly. I've been using corrugated card instead, but for small bits like backing the stick of the H, I've got to say foam tape is much easier than the corrugated. I pulled a little bit of silver polka dot vellum from my stash and backed my photo with that. And I'm now going to attempt to tuck in some pattern papers at either side of the photo. I don't like how this looks because it's widening the photo, but because I'm working on an A4 instead of a 12 by 12, I feel that actually it needs to be, the photo cluster needs to be lengthened rather than widened so that it fits the proportion of the page. I am struggling a little bit sometimes with the design aspect of switching from square to A4, and there are some things that just look better in a square design rather than this rectangular format. So here I decide that I really do need more of those leaves, and I'm going to draw myself some. Not all of them were entirely successful, but I got enough to use. I guess I could have drawn in pencil first and then gone over in pen to get a slightly better outcome. I do get a little bit frustrated at times and just scribble out the bits that went wrong. They just looked the wrong shape. Yeah, I don't like that. That's going. But when I'm going to fussy cut them out, and when I cut them, I will just cut off the bits that I don't like. Still playing around trying to get my flowers into my photo cluster, and I decide if I take off the bottom patterned paper layers and move them down a bit, I can then fit my flowers in between. Just need a little bit more vellum there. It pretty much entirely gets covered up, but I needed it there just in case any bits showed through. Moving my photo slightly higher on the page, again playing with the proportions, trying to get it to work. I feel if I was working on a square I wouldn't have struggled with that at all. I guess it's just adapting to a new format. So getting those flowers stuck down, they are definitely going there. I've got a few single leaves that I'm popping in around the page. I like the extra bit of green. I mean, I'd have green on everything if I had my way. Popping in my hand-drawn leaves, and I do faff for quite a while trying to get them looking right to my eye, but I get there in the end. I do prune a few leaves and put them in other places. Here we go with pruning. And also I think I tuck in another flower down in the bottom title cluster, just spreading the flowers around. More leaves. These ones pass the test and they get used. So this is for Stick It Down, and you can find 3 sketches each month at Stick It Down, 1 single page, 1 double page, and a card sketch as well. I'll leave the link down below, and join us if you fancy using some sketches. Now I go with black enamel hearts, and I and ah, do I want coloured dots? And no, I think I want black hearts, and I decide I call it finished. And then half an hour later I come back to take them off again because I wasn't happy with the black hearts. I found some old cocoa vanilla hearts in peaches, pinks and whites. It's not really white, it's sort of cream. And decide that they look much better and that's what I'm going to go with. So I scatter them around the page and then I do call it done. I am unsure about using white enamel dots because all the white enamel dots that I have, as they've aged, have gone cream. And if I'm using a white paper background and then I have cream enamel dots on it, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? White enamel dots, yay or nay? So here are the close-ups. Thank you very much for watching and for your comments and likes and your support. Like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.